Hey writers, welcome back to another episode of The Writing Process. Today we're going to be talking about finding the best words for your writing. Words are powerful, people. Words are amazing. I am a huge self-proclaimed word nerd. I actually have a space in my reader's notebook where I keep amazing words that I read. Like, I love words so much. I love jokes with words. They're called puns, right? So anytime that there's wordplay or when words are used in interesting ways, it's just, I love it so much. And I hope that I can transfer some of that passion to all of you, because the world would be a better place if we all used the right words, right? So that's kind of what we're going to be talking about today. And I'm going to use a mentor text to show you how to do that. Now, in this book, I've done a read aloud for this. You can find this on my channel. It's called Hewitt Anderson's Great Big Life. Super good book. And there's a passage in here where words are used. It's just amazing, and you're going to see what I mean. But first, I'm going to tell you what this passage is about. So it's describing how Hewitt and his parents get along, and they really love each other. And that's basically, they take a paragraph to explain that. So they could just say, Hewitt loved his parents, or Hewitt respected his parents. Right? That would have been enough. That would have sent the message. That would have accomplished the part of the story that needed to happen on this page. But that's not what they did. The author of this book chose some of the most beautiful language I've ever heard. And I'm going to show you what that is now. So here's the passage, and I'll read it out loud. And I want you to just kind of think about how the author used word choice to make this a really special paragraph. And Hewitt was hopelessly in love with them too, of course. He loved the awe and the wonder of them, the deep baritones of his father, and resounding, resplendent melodies of his mother. When his father chose to sing great operatic versions of nursery rhymes, his mother would join in, creating wonderful duets and harmonies that made Hewitt's liver quiver and tickled his funny bone right down to his shoes. He'd laugh endlessly after being serenaded for hours. Absolutely amazing, right? I mean, just thinking about some of the words, the resounding, resplendent melodies of his mother, the deep baritones of his father, and he was singing operatic versions of nursery rhymes. And my favorite line in there is Hewitt's liver, it made Hewitt's liver quiver and tickled his funny bone right down to his shoes. Right? They could have just said it made him feel good, right? He loved his parents sang, it made him feel good. That's what they were trying to say. The author, who is Jardine Nolan, they could have just said it that way and had it be simple. But they didn't. They chose this powerful, powerful language, right? It made Hewitt's liver quiver and tickled his funny bone right down to his shoes. I hope that inspires you the same way that it inspires me. And actually, before you go off and do your independent writing today, and you try to make sure you're thinking of, how could I use the best words in this situation? I want to tell you something I do that helps me in my writing. So when I'm reading a book like this and I find something that makes my liver quiver, what I do is I make a note of it. So now in my reader's notebook, here actually I have the page of when I read this and I kept my notes. I actually said, wow, great writing. And so I knew that, like, if I ever need to go back and find a mentor for some amazing writing, I'll go back to this book and reread that part so that I can be like, oh yeah, this is really going to inspire me to use some beautiful language. That is all the information I have for you today. But I hope that as you go off to do your independent writing, you think about how might you use the most powerful words you know how. How can you make your reader feel the same way that Geraldine Nolan made us feel when we read this little passage, right? How can you use your language to paint a picture in the reader's mind? That should be one of your goals as a writer, and I hope that you practice today. So good to see you. Have a great time writing. Bye.